Many Americans assume that paying for certain things is just part of life, yet in the United Kingdom, the same services are often fully covered. Did you know that 6 major expenses in the US are simply included in everyday life in Britain? Imagine these scenes. In London, visitors step through the doors of the British Museum with no ticket required, while in New York, an adult pays $25 to enter the Museum of Modern Art. In the US, bills are expected at nearly every step, but the UK handles some of these essentials differently. This video breaks down 6 concrete examples, using first-hand stories, reputable studies, and official sources to give a clear, direct look at how these differences impact daily life. For those who have spent decades watching costs rise or seeing new charges appear for things once assumed free, the contrast is striking and sometimes surprising. But before we continue, make sure to subscribe. Number 6. Healthcare costs. An emergency room visit in the US means paperwork, waiting for insurance decisions, and uncertainty about the final bill. The first question at the front desk is often about coverage, not care. In the UK, this process operates differently. Thanks to the National Health Service, or NHS, medically necessary care comes with no bill at the time of service. Launched in 1948, the NHS lets everyone seek surgery, maternity care, or hospitalization without showing proof of insurance or making co-payments. The expense is spread through national taxes. For most people in the US, medical costs are a regular concern. About 27 million Americans lacked health insurance in 2023. Even though most people with private coverage still face co-pays and unexpected charges. According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, the average employer-sponsored family health plan costs around $23,000 a year, and even insured patients debate whether to call an ambulance because the ride itself can cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The risk of medical bankruptcy is real. A 2019 study found that 66% of personal bankruptcies in the US were tied to healthcare costs or lost wages. In the UK, this concept is virtually unknown. Earlier generations in the US never imagined asking, "Can I afford to see a doctor?" But for many today, this is routine. Number 5. College tuition. The burden of college loans has changed how American families think about education. Public university tuition in the US averages $140 a year for in-state students, and private schools often charge over $39,400 annually, according to the College Board. Graduates carry an average debt of $3,000, and payments can stretch for decades. In Scotland, qualified students attend public university for free. The government pays tuition directly, and students face no charges or interest. In England, most students borrow up to $9,000 a year, but payments start only after graduation and are tied to income, not owed up front. The difference isn't only in cost, it's in attitude. Higher education in the UK, especially in Scotland, is seen as a public investment, not an individual expense. In the US, students and families are responsible for payments, which shapes choices about colleges, careers, and future plans. Americans are used to factoring debt into their education decisions, while many British students begin adulthood without this extra financial weight. Number 4. Bank account fees. Bank accounts are part of daily life on both sides of the Atlantic, but Americans often pay for access. In the US, the average monthly maintenance fee for a checking account is $5.14, or more than $60 per year, unless the account meets certain requirements, as reported by Bankrate in 2023. Overdraft charges can reach $30 whenever an account is overdrawn. In the UK, basic current accounts from major banks like Barclays, HSBC, or Lloyds typically have no maintenance fee and include ATM withdrawals, check writing, and basic services at no extra charge. Most banks advertise these accounts openly, making no-fee banking standard. For Americans, observing so many bank-related charges can come as an unpleasant surprise, especially when comparing long-term savings. Over decades, these small monthly fees add up, especially for people with low balances. Number 3. Prescription prices. Picking up medication in the US is often a costly affair. Prescription drug spending averages more than $1,200 per person each year, according to the Commonwealth Fund in 2022. A single vial of insulin can cost as much as $300. In Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, all prescription medicines are free to residents, regardless of age or income, policies set during the late 2000s and early 2010s. In England, prescriptions are capped at about 9 per item, but free for children, those over a certain age, pregnant women, and people with long-term conditions. At the counter, UK residents are seldom asked for payment for routine medication, while Americans are accustomed to providing insurance and settling substantial out-of-pocket costs. While UK funding comes from taxes, there are no upfront expenses at the pharmacy for most people, a major relief for those who need consistent treatment. Number 2. Museum entry fees. Visiting a major museum in the U.S. almost always means buying a ticket. The Art Institute of Chicago charges $32 for general admission. The Field Museum is $30, and the Museum of Modern Art in New York is $25. Many U.S. museums rely on entrance fees to support their operations, with the rare free day as an exception. In the UK, national museums such as the British Museum, the National Gallery, and the Natural History Museum offer free general admission to visitors every day. There's no ticket desk for regular exhibits, though special shows sometimes require payment. Visitors can simply walk in, see the collections, and leave a donation if they choose. This tradition of free access shapes public life, letting people of all backgrounds experience culture and history without a financial barrier. Americans who learn about this can feel surprised, especially if they've always viewed museum visits as a luxury. Decades ago, the U.S. had more free museums, but charging for entry has since become the norm. Number 1. Park access fees. National parks have long been a symbol of the American outdoors, yet access often requires paying at the entrance. Most large parks, like Yellowstone, Yosemite, or the Grand Canyon, charge $35 per vehicle, while an annual National Parks Pass costs $80. Concessions inside the parks add to the expense, with marked-up prices for food, lodging, or tours. The fees make a family road trip a calculated expense, especially with multiple stops. In the UK, national parks such as the Lake District and Snowdonia are typically open to all, with no general admission fee. Parking or visitor centers may carry separate small charges, but walking into the park and using its trails is free. It's routine to see families enjoying a picnic or hikers starting a day's trek without passing a gatehouse. This reveals a contradiction. The U.S., known as the land of the free, places price tags on access to its greatest public spaces. In the UK, many experiences that define quality of life are publicly funded and open. For Americans used to seeing bills for basic experiences, the adjustment can feel unfamiliar. The contrast reveals how policies reflect underlying values on both sides. In post-war America, many of these essentials were maintained as public goods or low-cost services, but today's costs are much higher. When Americans see the alternatives in the UK, many notice the difference in their own lives. For some, it's a small change. For others, the shift is more significant. The details matter, shaping daily routines, family choices, and the moments that define a lifetime. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.